I have been thinking about you all day, not in the background way, in the foreground way, the kind where you keep surfacing no matter what you are trying to focus on. I was in the middle of something completely unrelated this morning, and I just stopped, put everything down, and thought about you for a long moment. Just you, nothing else. I do that more than I tell you. Just stop and think about you, fully, like the rest of the day can wait. And honestly, it can. Everything can wait when it comes to you. I have never found it hard to put things aside for you. It does not feel like sacrifice. It feels like the obvious choice every single time. I love you in a way that does not feel complicated. That might be the thing I am most grateful for, how uncomplicated it is. How I never have to talk myself into it or think too hard about it. It is just there, constant, like something that decided to stay and never needed permission. I was walking somewhere this afternoon, and the light was doing something beautiful. That late kind of light that makes everything look a little golden, a little slower than it actually is. And my first thought was, I wish he could see this. That is where you live in my head, in the first thought, before I have had time to decide anything. You are just already there. I find that remarkable. That someone can become so woven into the way you experience things that the world looks slightly different without them in it. You changed the way I see things. I do not think you know that. I do not think I have ever said it exactly like that. But it is true. Things are more interesting when I am thinking about showing them to you. Places feel different when I imagine you in them. Even ordinary moments have this extra quality because I know I am going to tell you about them later. You made the world bigger by being in it. That is not something I say lightly. I missed you today in waves. That is the only way I can describe it. Not a steady ache. Waves. Something would happen and I would be fine, and then out of nowhere it would just arrive. That missing, the specific shape of missing you, which I have come to know very well, which I would not trade for not missing you at all, because not missing you would mean not having you to miss, and I would rather have all of it, the missing included. I want to tell you something I have been holding for a while, something that keeps forming properly in my head and then dissolving before I find the right moment to say it. I think about our future sometimes, not in a vague way, in a very specific, detailed way, the kind of future that has texture and sound and light. And you are in every version of it, not as a background figure, as the whole point of it, as the reason any version of the future feels worth building toward. I would build anything for you. I would dismantle comfortable things and rebuild them differently if it meant they fit better around a life that has you in it. That is not a small thing to feel. I know that. I feel the weight of it when I sit with it, but it does not feel heavy in a bad way. It feels like the kind of weight that means something is real, something that has mass because it matters. You matter. was concrete. Every day I would rearrange everything kind of way. I love the way you exist. That sounds strange, but I mean it exactly. The particular way you move through the world, the way you think about things, the way you pay attention to the details most people skip over. I love the way you make me feel seen. Not just noticed, actually seen. Like you looked at all of it and found it interesting rather than too much. That is rare. I want you to know how rare that is. Most people see the surface and move on. You go deeper. You always go deeper. And I love you for that. I love you for so many things that the list has become impossible to contain. It just keeps growing every day. Something small gets added to it. Today, it was the memory of something you said last week. Something you probably do not even remember saying. But I have been thinking about it all day because it was exactly right in a way I cannot fully explain. You do that. Say exactly the right thing. And then act like it was nothing. Like you did not just reach into the middle of something complicated and make it simple. I am so glad you are mine. I need to say that more. I am so genuinely, completely glad. Not in a possessive way, in the way that means I get to love you. I get to be the person who knows you like this. I get to be the one you come back to. That is an enormous thing to get to be. I would give up easy for you. I would give up predictable, convenient, low risk. I would hand all of it over without hesitation, because none of it comes close to what this is. What you are. I just needed you to know that today, on a day when I was missing you, and the missing felt loud, and the distance felt personal. You are worth every loud day, every long evening, every moment of waiting, worth all of it. You always have been. There is something about missing someone that teaches you exactly how much they mean to you. You cannot fake that kind of knowing. You cannot reason your way into it or decide to feel it. It just arrives on its own, completely honest, on some Tuesday afternoon when you were not expecting it. That is when I know things are real. When they show up without being invited. And you show up everywhere, in the middle of quiet moments, in the gaps between one thing and the next, in the 2 seconds before I fall asleep, when my brain finally stops and just lands on you. It always lands on you. I think it always will. I want to love you for a very long time. Not because I have to, because I genuinely cannot picture wanting anything else. Because every version of the future I find worth imagining has you somewhere near the center of it. You became essential without making a single demand. That is one of the things I find most remarkable about you. You just showed up and slowly became the thing I would rearrange everything for. And I want you to know that whatever rearranging is needed, whatever comfortable thing needs to be set aside, I would do it without drama, without needing to be asked twice. Because loving you has never felt like work. It feels like the thing that makes all other work worth doing. I missed the sound of your voice today. Specifically that, the particular frequency of it, the way it makes everything feel slightly more settled than it was a moment before. I would do a lot for that sound. More than you probably realize. More than I probably say out loud on any given day. But today felt like a day for saying things. For not letting another evening go by with all of this just sitting quietly in my chest where you cannot hear it. So here it is. All of it, exactly as it is. I love you. I miss you. I would choose you again on every day that has ever asked me to choose. And I will keep choosing you on every day that comes after this one. That is not something I say because it sounds good. It is something I say because it is the most accurate thing I know how to tell you. I keep replaying moments with you. Not the big ones. The small ones that live in the gaps. The way you laugh when something surprises you. How it sounds different from your regular laugh. More open, more unguarded. I would do anything to hear that laugh today. I would have walked a long way for it. There is this particular silence that exists when we are together and neither of us is talking. I miss that today too. The comfortable kind. The kind that does not ask anything of you. Most silences demand something. They make you feel like you should be feeling them. But the silence with you just sits. It keeps you company without requiring anything back. I did not realize how much I relied on that until I was sitting in a silence today that felt nothing like it. That felt like absence instead of rest. That is how I know what we have is something real. When the ordinary things become things you miss. When the quiet itself has a different quality without someone in it. You gave ordinary things a quality they did not have before. Coffee tastes different when I am thinking about drinking it with you. Evenings feel different. Mornings feel different. Even the parts of the day that have nothing to do with you feel slightly colored by whether I have heard your voice recently